Today I'm flying premium economy with British Airways from Gatwick to Orlando. In this video I'm going to be covering everything including the seat, the amenities, the food and drink and the onboard service. Our journey begins with an arrival into Gatwick South Terminal via the monorail, and we're very quickly through check-in and security thanks to the priority lanes granted by our silver status with BA. That status also grants us access to the lounge today, but it is worth making clear that this is not included in a premium economy ticket. The lounge at Gatwick was nice, and it did feel a lot quieter than the usual Heathrow lounges. Plenty of available seats, most of which had power outlets next to them as well, which is really good. This was a late morning departure for us, which meant that all the food items were for breakfast, so good few hot food items, a few pastries and some fruit. I opted for sausages, scrambled eggs, hash brown beans, and it was actually really good. Coffee options are a bit limited. BA has actually been replacing these types of coffee machines in the Heathrow lounges, so they have more modern options available there, but it did still give me a nice quality cappuccino to go along with my pain au chocolat. As always with the BA lounges, plenty of free pour spirits, soft drinks, beer, wine, but today we were sticking with the fizz. Quick stop in the toilets before we left. There is Elemis soap, but nothing else that would make you think that this was a premium lounge or anything. We were told to go to the gate for what seemed like it was going to be an on-time departure, but after we got there they announced a bit of a delay, and they did leave us standing around quite a while even afterwards, showing boarding passes and showing passports and everything. But eventually we were allowed through to go and board the plane. The premium economy seating configuration in our Treble 7 today was 242, and we opted for two of the seats at the windows. This is really great for couples travelling together. It just means you don't have anyone else next to you, and it's just a lot more relaxing, plus you get that window view too. There's a decent amount of storage at the seat, including this bottle holder, and there's also the behind the seat pocket here, and there's this little section here, but we can't really get too much in that. Nice big modern screen, we'll come on to that a little bit later as well. And then we have the earphones and the amenity kit here. The earphones are okay, they're not fully noise cancelling or anything, but they do a decent job, although I do find that if I wear them for too long they do get a bit uncomfortable. Next, let's take a little look inside the amenity kit. So this comes with socks, eye mask, toothbrush and toothpaste, a lip balm and a pen. Nothing too fancy, but pretty decent and does the job for what you need if you were on a nighttime flight. In terms of legroom, there's a decent amount of legroom, and you do also have this footrest that pulls down and also pulls back up again. One thing I did find a bit annoying though is just the leg of this chair. It just kind of got in the way of where I wanted my leg to be, so not perfect. They always tend to have a really good selection of films and TV shows on their IFE, although I personally tend to just go for the flight map for most of the time and just watch stuff on my own devices. For those using your own devices, there are also charging ports between the seats. Something I was really pleased to see is that BA have brought back the pre-departure fizz. For the last couple of years they have just been doing water and orange juice, so really nice to see this return. It just makes it feel like you're getting the holiday started early. And once the drinks have been collected, it was time to taxi for takeoff. Takeoff was nice and smooth, although sadly that didn't prevent the passenger in the adjacent row from throwing up for most of takeoff due to motion sickness. Thankfully she did seem to get pretty much all of it in the provided sick bag, so at least that's positive. As we're taking off, just wanted to say if you do enjoy these kind of flight reviews, please do consider subscribing. We've got lots of flights coming up, including BA business class long haul and short haul, as well as American Airlines in business class too.
BA Wi-Fi is available on today's flight. To connect to the network, visit shop.
As you could hear the cabin crew saying there was Wi-Fi available on board. That was £18 for the full flight. I did decide to try it out. It worked, but it was very, very slow for pretty much the whole time, unfortunately. Not long after takeoff, we were handed our in-flight menus. This was a New Year's flight and it seemed that BA still had a few Christmas leftovers to use up looking at the menu. And there was a decent range of drinks and spirits available to order. Once orders had been taken, we were handed hot towels and it was time to get the tray tables out. The tray table folds out from the armrest like this. You can have it in a smaller section just for drinks, or you can fold it out the full way for your meal. I started things off with a couple of gin and tonics, and we were also given some pretzels as a snack as well. And around an hour after takeoff, our meals arrived. I did opt for the Christmas dinner, and I opted to go with a Sauvignon Blanc to accompany. It doesn't look like much, but it was actually quite tasty. A bit dry. I'm not a big fan of the cranberry sauce, so I would have loved to just have a bit of gravy to pour over this. But the wine is pretty decent. My partner Kelly opted for the spinach and ricotta ravioli, said it was good. And I made a pretty decent dent through my food too. After the meal we were served coffee, although I somehow managed to spill half mine down my leg. So it was time for a trip to the bathrooms. Now, often in premium economy you just use the standard economy bathrooms, but what I did really like on this flight is they did actually have a separate restroom set aside just for premium economy. This shelf that's for changing, it did break at one point I noticed, but as soon as I flagged it to cabin crew they fixed it. Back at the seat, just wanted to highlight there is a good recline on these, which is great for a night flight, but is a bit of a double-edged sword when your neighbour wants to recline fully too. There's also a button at the bottom here, which pops out a leg rest. I didn't find this particularly comfortable in a seating position, but I think in a night flight when you're trying to sleep and lie down, it'd probably be pretty good. About halfway through the flight, we were handed out this ice cream, which was nice. And about an hour and a half before we came into landing, we were given our final snack, which was this chicken tikka wrap. And again, really nice. No complaints on any of the food really, nothing overly special, but yeah, all pretty good. And in what seemed like no time, we were coming into land into Orlando. In terms of my overall thoughts, it was a really enjoyable flight. The crew were all great, really friendly, really helpful. The food was good, the seat was comfy, absolutely all that you need for a daytime flight like this. Just got the holiday off to a really good start. Definitely worth the upgrade from economy if you can get it at a decent rate. If you've made it this far through the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.